You're listening to Chugging Bleach, the only podcast where the bounce count.
Welcome to Chugging Bleach, the anime review podcast where we eat entire filler arcs all at once. It is the 4th anniversary. I'm so happy about that. I'm Bob Video Games with Dan Video Games. Are you excited about the 4th anniversary of Chugging Bleach, Dan?
48 months. It's been 48 long months.
How about you, Dr. Agro?
I'm still feeling pretty spry.
Wait a second. You haven't been here. Anyway, Chris Wolfhard.
We should have started doing this the second Agro came on board.
Yes, you are absolutely right. Why did we do multiple episodes of Shusuke Amagai? But for people who haven't watched the show before, we're going to talk about the show. We're going to talk about Bleach, the anime. This time, we covered all of Zanpakuto, the alternate tale, which is 2 separate arcs. Zanpakuto, Unknown Tales arc, and Beast Swords arc.
See, I would argue it's 1 filler arc and 10 episodes of fucking bullshit. They realized that they could make people accept more by including a flimsy through line with the worst designs in the entire series.
I mean, they literally, they even say that in the show. Like, that's in the after credit scene. That is literally what they say.
Yep.
Get back in the box.
Yep. They're like, oh, you're not done with your time in solitary confinement. Get back in your hole in the ground. And I'm like, no!
That was episode 230 to 265. 36 episodes. That's a lot of episodes. That's a lot of Bleach. That's a lot of anime.
You know what I like about that string at the end there? Those little extra episodes? A lot of those beasts look like bad D&D enemy designs. Like, they're just like, I'm an ogre. Like, why?
Yeah, no, they're pretty funny. I don't want to get into it yet. We'll wait to see for the end of the podcast or end of that section. But, oh man, there were quite a few of those episodes like, oh, this is good stuff. This is it.
The most episodes of Bleach ever in an episode of Chugging Bleach, and maybe the biggest divided opinions between viewers.
And after we do that, we're going to review the openings and endings, review the whole show, and Dan's going to tell us if he's excited to watch more Bleach. But before we get into it, Chris, I hear we can get access to this show early, which is important because, you need to be on top of this show that keeps doing more episodes at once.
Yes. When you think about it, getting early access doesn't mean you just get early access to one opinion. That's 4 opinions on 26 episodes each time after this in advance. That's so many opinions you'll have knowledge of in advance.
Anyway, you can get this early by going to Patreon at patreon.com/gbpodcast. For $5 a month, you get early access to this and another monthly anime review show called Pokemon Go to the Movies, the latter of which will be done by the end of the year, and this will be almost done by the end of the year. So that should put the speed we're moving at into context. I guess I also have to guide us through these episodes now. Oh boy.
Oh boy.
Episode 230. A mysterious guy says some bullshit to other mysterious guys. Zangetsu is like, hey, Ichigo, something's happening. And Ichigo goes,
You smell that? No.
In Soul Society, none of the captains and lieutenants shit works. They're like, what, are our swords broken? They don't fucking work. Then a bunch of people show up, and there's a bunch of weird things and a guy named Muramasa, and they try to fight, but none of their swords work. And then it turns out that all these freaks with Muramasa are the manifested forms of their Zanpakuto.
Wow, that's crazy. When did Muramasa get them all summoned from their swords in order to be here right now in this moment? Weren't they in a cave?
Shut the fuck up, that's why.
Jerking
Welcome
each
to
other
Bleach.
off.
What are Zanpakuto and how do they work? Go fuck yourself.
Right?
So the Zanpakuto have assumed human-like forms and have joined Muramasa, and he's going to make the Zanpakuto free, and he declares war on Soul Society.
And I'm sure that nothing will go against how the Zanpakuto work in this timeline.
No,
later.
I
Never.
mean, we have so few episodes of canon Bleach left that obviously they don't even have time to say some shit that'll make this one bloated filler arc make no sense. And if that happens, You won't be able to stop what I do to myself.
Zanpakuto and Illustrated Guide to Zanpakuto. That's what it's called.
Ba-dum-bum.
Zangetsu Mayuri narrates. There's not even a joke. It's just shit we know.
Hey, remember when we used to say golden? That was a fun bit. Remember when that happened? Remember fun bits?
It's over. It's so
Why
over.
is it over?
Okay, episode 231. Ichigo finds Rukia injured in his neighborhood. A strange woman who uses ice powers is attacking her. This is Rukia's Zanpakuto Sode no Shirayuki. She's pretty hot, honestly.
I mostly love the part where Rukia gets dumped out of a hole from the Soul Society.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, so I should say this now.
Uh-huh.
There is a misconception by a lot of Bleach fans that Kubo designed all these manifested forms of the Zanpakuto. That is not true. He designed them in conjunction with the anime staff with his input, but there are obviously some that are much more Kubo than others, Sode no Shirayuki being one of the ones that is really obviously much more Kubo than others, for reasons that won't be apparent for several more episodes of Chugging Bleach.
Okay. So, I figured there had to be something like that because it's like, these are not...
A lot of them are good.
Some of them are good.
A lot of them are good and a lot aren't.
Yeah, but they're too good for you to believe he had no input.
Right.
Honestly, my conspiracy is he designed the women.
Yeah, the guys do miss real hard.
I mean, yeah, you know the orange hair one who's huge? He looks like a Bounce.
He does.
Yeah, he does.
There's some generic shit in this mix.
It bugs me really a lot that all of these got weird new designs and Zangetsu didn't. Zangetsu is just Zangetsu no matter what.
Well, Zangetsu had a human form already. He doesn't need a new one.
I hope nothing at any point in time makes that stupid.
Well, anyway, Ichigo bodies this chick and she runs away, and Ichigo takes Rukia to Urahara's shop and they explain the fucking situation. Byakuya was seemingly defeated by Senbon Sakura, except we don't even have to know for real that he wasn't because he's Byakuya. Byakuya doesn't lose. Byakuya and Kenpachi have anti-jobbing auras around them that cannot be penetrated by any force.
Yep.
Yoruichi shows up and she's investigating the thing she does in every filler arc. She reveals nobody actually died. Everybody's fine.
Cool.
The 13 court guard squads have set up base in 4th Division and they're trying to take care of shit.
Oh yeah, before we get too far into this, I want to make it clear the transition, much like last time to the Shusagamukai arc, we just have to pretend that fight that happened at the end of the last episode at the end of like
the last canon episode, 229.
Right. Where the women were fighting the Espadas who turns into a giant monster Manicore. Mm-hmm. We have to pretend they all just called a timeout and went back to Soul Society.
Well, no, they specifically said, "Oh no, we're going to we're taking this to a different. This is a reality bubble."
Right.
But
that's where
timeline-wise, it references things that exist in that.
Right. It's literally imagine that timeline bubble happened immediately at that moment.
Yeah.
Well, this is why it's called the alternate tale. Alternate fucking reality. Urahara says that only Zanpakuto and Soul Society are affected, so if Ichigo goes, there might be problems, and he's like, I don't care, I'm dumb. And then he follows after Rukia, because she was worried about Byakuya. The Arankar Encyclopedia. Gin will explain all the resurrection from the previous arc. Ichigo asks why, they're all fucking dead. And Gin says, it's so they can rest in peace, and if you're so fucking good at it, why don't you do the next episode of Arankar Encyclopedia?
It's a good bit.
It is.
Episode 232. Rukia gets back to Soul Society and meets Renji. Nobody knows where Byakuya is. Sode no Shirayuki is there and they fight again. Rukia loses. Ichigo shows up, but then Ichigo also gets owned because he doesn't want to beat up what is functionally Rukia's mom. Rukia tries to get her back herself and blows herself up. Sode no Shirayuki was moved by this and seemingly is going to stop being opposed to her, but then Muramasa shows up and is like, I'm also a Zanpakuto. Hello, Ichigo Kurosaki. I'm the villain of this arc.
Oh, no. We got to be clear on Muramasa. Does not know his name and says, oh, her friend cares about her immensely. This will be helpful info. Please look forward to next episode.
Arrancar Encyclopedia. Ichigo has to interview the remaining 3 Espada, Baragon, Stark, and Hollowbell, and is scared shitless. That's the joke.
It's really good. He tries to ask them a question and they just say nothing. And he's like, this is a completely different tier of problem.
Yeah, somehow Ichigo got roped into a Japanese TV show.
Truly, he's in hell.
Yeah, I think he literally yells like, "This isn't the same show." Episode 233, Muramasa sends Soda no Shirayuki away. Ichigo tries to talk to him and he says a bunch of bullshit that doesn't matter.
But wait, I want to underscore the bullshit. I promise I won't do this often this arc, but this drove me insane the whole time. Now his plan involved Ichigo. He planned for this moment. Last episode didn't even know his fucking name. Now Ichigo was the key to all of this and he has fallen into Muramasa's plan. I look forward
we can't.
to hearing the plan.
I literally started asking myself out loud, heard it bounce off my walls, and felt myself go insane when I asked, wait, what is his plan? Oh, God.
Oh no, we're there again.
Yeah.
Movie villain looking ass motherfucker.
Yep. Ichigo fights Muramasa. Muramasa uses his bullshit powers to pull Zangetsu out of him. Zangetsu fights Ichigo. Mayuri does research on some shit that doesn't matter. Ichigo loses his Zangetsu, but then goes all hollow monster form and starts fighting back. Muramasa tries to interfere, but then the hollow Ichigo just like immediately bodies him like, fuck you. You're not a real character.
It was pretty brutal.
But before Ichigo can go full monster, he regains control and falls unconscious. Illustrated Guide to Soul Reapers, but they don't say it. The Shinigami Men's Association are coping and seething. They weren't in the Beach episode, other than the ones that were. Shuhei loves tits. Izuru wants to do paperwork there. They work hard to arrange a beach trip, and on the day they go, it rains. Laugh.
Oh.
234, Rukia is being treated by the 4th Division. Shuhei gets attacked by his shitty-looking Zanpakuto Kazushini, who is like a shadow man with the scythe things. Renji looks for Byakuya. He runs into Zabimaru, who is a monkey woman named Saru and a snake boy named Hebi, which, if you go back several episodes to the Illustrated Guide to Soul Reapers, where Renji asks Mayuri to give his Zanpakuto a sex change, I'm pretty sure that inspired this.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
Yeah. It's been a lot of episodes.
I kept joking to Bob that there's just a head writer on the Bleach anime who's like, when's Kubo gonna address it? He's been doing this for 50 fucking episodes.
He's just knocking on Kubo's little literal door like, it's time, man. It's time.
Hey,
Yeah.
did it work? Did the surgery work? I need this!
I don't even think that was a fucking Kubo one. I think that was just all anime. So it's just that one guy being like, finally.
So this dude just has one invasive thought and cannot free himself from it.
No, but what if it was like a monkey lady?
And she had a giant ass. And
And
it was great.
it was mostly about calling attention to that.
That's it.
I am so conflicted between this design being really strong and me thinking they're cowards.
Yeah.
Zabimaru says some shit about how a voice told them to attack their masters. Ichigo wakes up in his big tank dimension, but the old man's missing. Muramasa is there, and they fight, but he gets owned, and then Joker mode Ichigo shows up. Muramasa has some bullshit that lets him freeze them, and he's gonna I'm going to use your hollow power, and then the hollow power's like, the fuck you are.
I don't think you get how this works. We don't either, but it certainly doesn't do this.
Yeah, like this is the big kids table, my guy. Come back with a real character design.
Man, he's just lucky Ichigo didn't call in a striker from the Big Think Dimension. You know, mind Jinkarya.
Right? He's always there.
God,
always a threat.
You know what? There's spoilers for this whole filler arc. I am very surprised there is not even one scene of Lady Ruchiro.
Yeah, no, there's no Mauricio.
Bob thought he saw Lady Maruccio for 1 second. He's like, nope, just random kids at this party. Okay. I was like, Bob, please. No.
Illustrated Guide to Soul Reapers. Rangiku and Orihime are doing a cooking show. They're going to force Ichigo and Ishida to eat it. They're tied to a chair. They can't cook, and it's all them saying shit like, we're out of sugar. I guess salt will work, and whatever. Fucking lol can't cook.
Well,
Mark it off the chart.
It's worth noting at this exact point, we have covered the entirety of a normal episode of Chugging Bleach.
Yes.
Yep. That's sure the case.
Could you imagine each episode was this short leading up to now?
If only.
It's episode 235. Ugitake and Kyoraku are talking about how if they kill their Zanpakuto, it might destroy the Zanpakuto. Renji fights Zabimaru. Kisagi fights Kazushini. They're both getting bodied because they fucking suck. Joker mode Ichigo fights Muramasa inside his mind. Ichigo forms some kind of truce with his Joker mode and forces Muramasa out of his mind and then continues to fight with him in the real world. Zabimaru says they're gonna kill Rukia, and then Renji gets like the girls might be watching theoretically power up and manages to use his Shikai even though he shouldn't be able to do that. Quincy Encyclopedia. Ryukin is looking at a picture of baby Ishida. Ishin runs in and replaces it with a picture of his daughters. And then Ryukin says Ichigo's bad influence is why Ishida is rebellious and starts trying to kill Ishin.
Man, we don't get enough of these guys.
We don't. We really this filler arc has really good end of episode things.
It does.
It helps it a lot, honestly. Needs fucking everything he can get. 236. Kazushini wounds Hisagi. Kira shows up to help. We get a lot of Kido in this arc because it's the only fucking thing the main characters can mostly do.
Yeah.
I wished I had counted the Shakahos. There are so goddamn many Shakahos.
And they can't make any new Kido for this because, that wouldn't be real. We can only use ones we've seen before extensively.
Renji keeps fighting Zabimaru. Zabimaru they're able to activate Bankai, but Renji thinks for 1 second and manages to defeat them by breaking the Bankai with the Kido and then smacking them with all the shards of his sword. Ichigo fights Zangetsu. Zangetsu activates Bankai and starts winning. But Ichigo forms the truce with his inner hollow and defeats Zangetsu, and Muramasa retreats. Zangetsu says that Muramasa does some shit to control the Zanpakuto, but once you defeat them, it breaks it and he can't do it anymore. Okay. Illustrated Guide to Soul Reapers. Hanataro is treating people at the Kuchiki Mansion. They find Byakuya's weird mascot character under some rubble, like a cardboard cutout standee, and Hanataro pretends he's real.
It's really good. There's not enough Hanataro in this arc.
It's true.
We're in Squad 4 barracks almost all the time, and yet somehow he's almost not in the show.
Yeah, well, he wasn't in the real show recently, so they can't go back and use characters that are older.
But he was in the real show recently. He came with Byakuya.
Oh yeah. So what the fuck?
Yeah, right.
Well, he wasn't in that mid-off. He wasn't in the mid-off.
Yes.
So instead, we have to pretend that fucking Omaida is a real character.
Ugh.
237. Ichigo gives a fucking report to Ukitake and Kyoraku and Unohana. Ichigo and Ikaku go on patrol to find more Zanpakuto. Somebody breaks into the compound and beats up a bunch of Soul Reapers. Omaida finds the unconscious guards and then runs into his own Zanpakuto spirit. And Omaida really thinks he's great because he's this big fat looking dumbass.
Mm-hmm.
But that's the Zanpakuto's like, I'm a big fat looking dumbass because you suck, you bastard. Which I thought was pretty funny.
Yeah, he's got the first legitimate grievance of the arc.
and Ikaku's Zanpakuto is Hozuki Maru is there. Omaida and his guy are gonna fight, but then Ichigo and Ikaku show up. Omaida is knocked out, and Ichigo instantly defeats Omaida's Zanpakuto while Ikaku fights Hozuki Maru, but gets owned because he sucks.
Yeah.
Ikaku sucks. He's like, oh, I can't even use my Bankai, so now I have a reason to not use it, and then he gets owned.
Because of all the filler, I realized, I think during this episode, I've seen more Ikaku than I think anyone ever needed to.
It's true. There's kind of a reason they start to downplay him later on.
Yeah, I'm like, he's okay for a few times. I even like some of the filler he's in, but oh my god, this is too much. There's so much Ikaku.
He should only appear in scenes with Keigo's sister.
Right?
And there should be more of those.
Obviously.
Ukitake, Kyoraku, and Soifang show up and surround Hozuki Maru, but then he gets away.
Because for some reason, Soifang will not use Shunpo. She just won't do it.
Yep.
What an arc. Love it.
Yeah.
Ichigo tries to pursue him, but he gets blocked by Byakuya, who doesn't answer any questions and then disappears. Illustrated Guide to Soul Reapers. Renji's training. He wants to eat lunch. they put a frog in his lunchbox, and the lunchbox ate the lunch, and they blame the frog for eating the lunch, even though it was obviously them. Okay. 238. Ichigo's looking for Byakuya, and he finds Hinako and Tobiyume, who are Rangiku and Momo's swords. They show up to fight their own swords.
All Momo's swords ever done is show up fireballs with all that she can do. It's real sad.
Yeah.
They have pretty good designs, though, so that's nice. Ichigo runs up on Hyorinmaru, who can't remember anything, so he attempts to freeze Ichigo, but then Hitsugaya shows up, and then Muramasa kills a bunch of hollows. Illustrated Guide to Soul Reapers. Kyoraku accidentally walked into Unohana's room in the Squad 4 barracks and got beaten up. That's the entire fucking thing. Okay, good to know. 239. Ichigo's trapped in an ice prison like fucking Sora in Kingdom Hearts 3. Hitsugaya and Hyorinmaru confront each other. They don't fight, though. They don't fight. Hitsugaya kind of just talks to him and then activates Shikai, and Hyorinmaru goes, "Oh, you are my master." And then that's over. Rangiku and Momo overpower their Zanpakuto, but I guess this doesn't count as defeating it because it doesn't count later on.
Right. Hyorinmaru is really weirdly overconfident. He's like, I'm the best Zanpakuto in the Soul Society. I'm the strongest.
I'm the most... my master comes in so high on character polls.
Right? It's very weird.
My mullet is so long.
I seem to remember something about a movie that isn't real.
Please don't.
Yeah, why weren't there two Hyorinmarus?
Shut up. Shut
And
the
why
fuck
are
up.
they kissing?
Why aren't they kissing?
Why aren't they kissing?
Oh, wait, go on.
Illustrated Guide to Soul Reapers. Kon is being Kon in Ichigo's body. Ishida and Chad interfere and like make him study. He's like, "Why are you doing this?" And Ishida says, "Soul Reapers are my enemy."
It's like, why are you doing this? I'm racist. Episode ends.
240. Mayuri discovers that Zanpakuto can only go back to normal if they're defeated by their owners. Rangiku and Momo captured their Zanpakuto and are sending them back for study, which doesn't count as defeating them for some reason.
Yeah, need to actually break them, I guess. And I feel like this revelation mixed with other things like, oh, there's no tension in this arc whatsoever anymore.
An unknown assailant helps them escape. Ichigo meets Rangiku and Momo and then finds Muramasa, who is having trouble with his body and tries to fight him, and then Senbon Sakura shows up. Ichigo fights Senbon Sakura and is like, "Well, you're not actually Byakuya, so I can make you job out if I want." But then Byakuya actually shows up and is like, "I have joined the villains," and then disappears with them.
Oh no.
Illustrated Guide to Soul Reapers. Hinako talks shit about Momo and Momo's sword gets mad. Okay. 241. Ukitake. Everybody talks about Byakuya's betrayal. They also discover that if somebody else kills Zanpakuto other than its owner, it loses its power forever. At the hideout, they're like, "Byakuya, we're not sure you're serious about joining us, so kill Soda no Shirayuki." And then he does. He's like, fucking, I don't fucking care.
Like, did you guys not know who this is?
Byakuya shows up to Renji and Rukia and throws the broken remains of Soda no Shirayuki. Zabimaru shows up to help Renji fight Byakuya, and I'm like, you got any fucking pattern recognition? Surprise, they lose. All the fucking rest of the Zanpakuto show up, and their owners show up, and it's like, we're gonna fight them. Oh. Illustrated Guide to Soul Reapers. Isane visits Hitsugaya. Hyorinmaru is freezing everything. Isane cleans up the ice, and then he does it again. Okay. 241. Byakuya and Ichigo fight a little bit. Renji can do nothing but keep Byakuya from just leaving. Izuru fights Kazushini. Soifan fights Ganryo Maru, which is Yamamoto's lieutenant's Zanpakuto, and Tenkin, which is Komamura Foxman's Zanpakuto.
Yeah, I'm glad they explained who they were because, oh man,
indeed.
That was a great bit. I spent the whole arc being like, who Zanpakuto is that guy? And then she just asked him, like, "Oh, I'm such and such's." Oh, well, no one knows who the fuck you are.
Right?
Yumachika fights his Zanpakuto, and it's the exact same as the fucking filler we just did, where they're both obsessed with beauty. Ikaku beats his sword and wins and gets his shit back. Isane and Tetsuzaimon go to assist the wounded, and they see the floating baby that is fucking Mayuri's sword. Okay, thank you. Illustrated Guide to Soul Reapers. Yumachika's sword says Ikaku should dress more nicely, and Yumachika agrees, and they both imagine a bunch of model shots of him in different outfits. Okay, thank you. 243, Soifon fights Ganryomaru and Tenkin, but then her Zanpakuto shows up and interferes. Yumachika continues fighting his guy. Isane and Tetsuzaimon retreat from Mayuri's Zanpakuto because it's fucking poison. And then Hinako and Tobiyume arrive, and the poison paralyzes Isane. Rangiku and Momo show up to help. Byakuya fucking rinses Renji. Kira does some shit to Kazushini that isn't important.
Yeah, I feel like you could say that about literally every one of these fights.
And then Wabisuke shows up to fight Kira, and then Ichigo sees this. He's like, I'm gonna help Kira. He's my friend now, I guess.
We met on voice chat. His headset was bad.
And then Kenpachi shows up. Kenpachi's like, okay, it's time for the arc. It's time for the arc to get better now.
God, this fucking entrance is so good.
Yeah, he kind of just like explodes into reality, crackling with energy. Like, I'm here now.
Right? Like this huge beam comes out of the building. I'm like, who the fuck is that? Oh my God, he's done wandering in the wilderness.
It's worth noting that this is the point where Kenpachi's normal voice actor leaves and he becomes Patrick Seitz.
It's so weird.
I
and
like
bad.
Patrick Seitz. This sucks.
Yeah.
It's explicitly the same thing as with Chad's original voice actors. Like, they don't fucking pay enough. Like, I'd make more working at McDonald's.
God.
Yep.
That sucks.
It really sucks.
That's horrible.
Because this was the era when they got paid literally nothing. Instead of now, where it's only mostly nothing.
Bob, I looked up someone else who I thought changed as well.
Oh yeah, it was Urahara.
Urahara
he also
changed as well. And then there was a weird part of Wikipedia that on this voice actor's thing, it's like most of his roles went to one specific guy. And I'm like, God, that's weird.
Yeah.
Okay, at least I'm not crazy.
Yeah, no, you could tell these someone doing a similar voice.
Yeah, but it's not quite the same.
Whereas with Kenpachi, Patrick Seitz not
different.
even. Yeah, Patrick Seitz isn't even trying to do a Kenpachi
Patrick
voice.
Seitz is Patrick Seitzing.
Yeah, he's not even trying to do a different voice at all. He's just regular Patrick Seitz.
He literally doesn't have any of the like Sigma energy that Kenpachi had casual mode.
He's like one tone off from just being Garrosh from World of Warcraft, who is Patrick Seitz.
Yeah.
Basically, every orc is Patrick Seitz.
Right.
Like 80% of all orcs in World of Warcraft are Patrick Seitz.
So yeah, I don't dislike Patrick Seitz, but this sucks, and I'm tired of the things I like about Bleach draining out of Bleach.
Yeah.
Is really driving me insane.
Right?
Yeah. Illustrated Guide to Soul Reapers. Kyaraku and Ukitake are playing Go. Ukitake is winning, but his anime wasting disease kicks in and he falls over and spits blood. Okay.
Yeah, he ate all the Go pieces, that's why.
244. Kenpachi shows up. Wabisuke attacks him, but it does nothing, and Kenpachi instantly kills him.
Nice.
It's good.
Yeah.
Like, now your arm's twice as heavy. Okay.
Yachiru shows up and is like, we were hunting hollows and got lost. Okay, we're here now. Sinbon Sakura attacks Kenpachi, but Kenpachi's like, I'm Kenpachi.
Fact.
And Byakuya's like, I'm the only person who has like the two anti-jobber R's can only negate each other. Byakuya's like, I kind of need this not to be over yet, so I better keep him from killing every single one of these guys. And then Sinbon Sakura goes to the cuck shed, aka fighting Ichigo. Shimachika beats his sword and reclaims it. Okay, cool.
No, it's not.
Illustrated Guide to Soul Reapers.
Hang on a second. I just in this last scene, Kenpachi just kills Wabisuke, which at this point in the series we have been told means he's dead forever. And the show just doesn't fucking care.
Doesn't care one fucking iota.
Yeah, no,
which is either, man, fuck Wabisuke, or we're not even pretending that we're not going to renege on that.
right.
I mean, when the first one they do it to is Rukia's, you know this shit is impermanent.
Right.
So it doesn't matter.
Yeah, which is another just frustration. Like, yeah, you sure did do the one thing that made all of this feel completely pointless.
Like anybody else would be more believable, even Renji.
Mm-hmm.
Renji would be extra believable. Like, no change in his effectiveness. Illustrated Guide to Soul Reapers. Byakuya and Kenpachi are staring before they fight. The lightning one and Komamura's Zanpakuto watched Lightning Guy says, "This is scary. Please bury me under the rubble again." And the big one does. 245. Ichigo fights Senbon Sakura. Kenpachi fights Byakuya. Mayuri's Zanpakuto shows up and just sprays poison gas all over, so the fight is stopped. Kenpachi and Yachiru capture Ashisogi Jizo. Then Mayuri just like hits the detonator switch. It's like it's dead now. Just blows it into pieces.
Fucking cold-blooded.
Soifan defeats her sword. Yoruichi shows up and congratulates her.
Okay, Soifang defeating her sword, the lead up to that cracked me up real bad.
This is the part where she's like, you should go find a man, and like Soifan has a mental break over being told that.
Not just that, but before that even, Soifan's like, I can't have trouble fighting on rooftops. We need to go somewhere else. It's like, lady, all you do is fight on rooftops. What are you talking about? It also, how does her sword not know she's a lesbian?
Yeah.
It's baffling.
Maybe her Zanpakuto is homophobic.
Very possible.
You need to stop with this lesbian shit and get some dick.
And then she's just like,
And I feel like the punchline should just be like her looking at all the available men in Soul Society and be like, oh.
right? Like, let's see, which one bathes? One, singular.
Well, Byakuya is out of the question. That dude's probably asexual. Who's the top at the top of the list other than that? Kira? Oh God.
Right?
Yeah, that's rough.
You know what? Yoruichi's fine. They treat the people who got poisoned, which is like fucking everybody. Yoruichi shows up and tells Ichigo and the captains that she knows where Yamamoto is. Yamamoto is a prisoner of the Zanpakuto of Ukitake and Kyoraku, because like it's a reference to Soul Society where they held him off. Like their Zanpakuto are sealing him in this barrier. Whoa. Illustrated Guide to Soul Reapers. Heineko is reading a fashion magazine, Women Be Shopping. Rangiku is also reading the same fashion magazine. They both go shopping and buy the same outfit.
How? My mind is being blown.
246. Yoruichi discusses Ukitake, Kyoraku, and Kenpachi and how they're gonna just rescue Yamamoto. Kazushini goes back and faints from getting beaten up. They all go into the cave, which is disturbingly like the Bount Cave.
Yep.
A lot of Bount things are about to happen in here.
Kyoraku and Ukitake fight their Zanpakuto. Kenpachi fights Gonryomaru and Tenken. Ichigo and Yoruichi encounter Heineko and Tobiume. Yoruichi just like rinses them. Like it's frame one. They don't have a fucking chance. He's like, I'm a real character and don't need a sword.
Yeah, I'm surprised that several times in this arc, it actually remembers how the power system works in Bleach. It doesn't. I don't expect that from the filler, and often the filler does not respect that.
Yeah, this filler arc is pretty good. Like, no, this character wins. Did you think it would go differently?
Mm-hmm.
Even this was like, yo, it should have been faster. What are you doing? What do you mean she had to say that and hold them off? They would already be dead.
Ichigo beats Kazushini and then moves on to find Yamamoto. Illustrated Guide to Soul Reapers. This is where Soifan Zanpakuto tells her to get some dick. And she sees the bat. That is this Illustrated Guide to Soul Reapers. 247. Muramasa blocks Ichigo's way and goads him into using his hollow powers. Yoruichi and Ukitake and Kyoraku are like, something is wrong. Muramasa's plan was to trick Ichigo into using hollow energy on Yamamoto's barrier, and it breaks. But the reveal is that Yamamoto made the barrier himself because Muramasa wanted to steal Ryujin Jaka because it's so powerful, and he wanted to use its fire to destroy them all, I guess.
Hey, remember in the Bound arc when Jin Karya tricked Ishida into using his yeah.
Also, Ryujin Jaku defeats Ukitake and Kyoraku Zanpakuto. Okay. Illustrated Guide to Soul Reapers. Orihime wants advice on what outfit to fight in from Chad. She has Goku's uniform, a bunny chute, a Skrull Ghoul outfit that I think is a Sukaban Deka reference, a robot doll it isn't possible to wear in a Santa suit. Chad says, I think any of these are fine. And then Ishida shows up and wants advice on capes. That's actually the fourth spoiled image I put in, is her holding all her outfits.
It's good.
Yeah.
248. Ichigo, everybody's surrounded by the fucking Ryujin Jaka's firewalls. Yoruichi escapes by using Shunko to make some shit. Tobiyume and Hinako, who are not defeated somehow, despite being defeated twice in this fucking arc.
They got more stuff for Tobiyume. Okay.
Stops her and they're gonna fight. Ichigo tries to escape the fire and can't, even with hollow powers. Yamamoto says Muramasa wants to destroy Karakura Town to free his owner, Koga Kuchiki, who has been sealed there. Muramasa gets to Karakura Town and is all stumbling around and melting, and Orihime finds him and helps, and she heals him.
Which she knows she shouldn't fucking do.
Yes.
Ashita and Chad arrive and start fighting Muramasa. Ichigo tries to jump over the walls one last time and then hits in Hyoranmaru and Hitsugaya show up to help him get through the fire. Ooh, so he can go to Karakura Town and stop Muramasa. They play the violin number 1 theme during Hitsugaya doing this, confirming he is Karin's love interest.
You know, at least they're consistent in this filler, I guess.
I
guess. What are you gonna say, Bob?
I was gonna let me roll it back a bit. Trying to remember as I was hit by that.
Orihime healing, Ashita and Chad.
Hitsugaya helping with the ice dragon.
Okay.
Man, it's gone, isn't it?
Yeah, we went so fast. I can't.
Damn.
It was something before any of that.
Like right about where he's putting it.
Destroy Karakura Town.
Yeah, that.
Just like the filler. I mean, just like the actual
Just
plot
like the
right
real.
now.
No, not that. But that is also like
Koga
Koga
Kuchiki.
Koga. Anyone else like the Bounce? Koga? Is that about him?
I did hear Koga.
No, I
and went,
didn't.
no way.
No, I didn't.
No, I always think about Inuyasha.
Fair.
Yeah, no, I did. I don't have that damage. Illustrated Guide to Soul Reapers. Rinji brought an injured Rukia a present. Rukia interrupts and says Ugitake got her a giant plush chappy. It is bigger than the Seirete. That is the third image I put in there.
It is very big.
It is larger than all of Seirete. And and then she's like, well, what did you bring me, Rinji? And he's like, and he brought her a keychain sized one and is too ashamed to admit it.
I love how Yamamoto was in no way even a little bit surprised or annoyed that these dumbasses broke the barrier he put up. He just kind of expected it. 2, why the fuck did they steal Koga in Karakura Town?
I don't know.
Because there are 3 places. That's why.
Yeah, no.
There's the Soul Society, there's Karakura Town, and there's Hueco Mundo.
We're gonna find out there literally doesn't exist outside of Karakura Town in the living world.
Yeah, it's like X.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But even worse, it's like post-apocalyptic. All of it's gone. It's raised Earth.
It was limbo the whole time.
Episode 249. Kenpachi fucking killed Ganryomaru at some point. I don't even remember when. He's like, you're unimportant. I want to fight the one that's a Bankai. So die. Yoruichi keeps fucking fighting Hinako and Tobiyume. Who cares? Yamamoto, Ukitake, Kyoraku, Hitsugaya, and Hyoranmaru are going to fight Ryujin Jaka together. Uryu and Chad show up to help fight Muramasa, and he evades all their attacks, and Sinbon Sakura arrives to help him. Muramasa paralyzes Chad with his ability, I guess. I don't fucking know. Orihime's like, why are you fucking doing this? And Muramasa's like, I'm lonely.
No, I don't care how sick he looks. We're not doing the fucking, maybe he had his reasons and maybe we can fucking like make him good now.
If you like Orihime's the girl who's like, man, that school shooter must have such inner depths.
Yep.
Rukia Uravat arrives as Muramasa tries to unseal Koga. Uryu fights Sinbon Sakura and is doing really fucking well. Like, he nails him with a Seile Schneider, but that isn't enough to take him down. And then Muramasa unseals Koga as Ichigo shows up. Okay. Illustrated Guide to Soul Reapers. Yamamoto reflects on all the experiences he had with Ryujin Jaka. They're all very mundane. It's all like, you kept me warm when I was cold and helped me make marshmallows when we needed s'mores and blah, 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 blah.
I think what's worth noting, Ryujin Jaka, no design for this.
None.
Yeah, just flyer.
Yeah.
250. In a flashback from several centuries ago, so before Byakuya was even born, before even the turn back the clock shit, Koga married into the Kuchiki clan and was tricked into becoming evil, I guess, and was sealed instead of killed for some reason. It's really stupid. It's like there was a rebellion and he put down the rebellion, and a bunch of guys who have captain's Hayoris on were jealous, even though he's not even a fucking lieutenant yet. He's a third seat. So they framed him, and he got mad at being framed and killed all of them, which shouldn't be possible because they were wearing captain's Hayoris.
I don't think those were captain's Hayoris. They were the more triangular things like a daimyo would wear. So that was just, they were supposed to be bureaucrats that were somehow in charge of the army.
It's stupid. It's so fucking stupid. They're scared, and they were scared of his Zanpakuto because it's fucking... It can control other Zanpakuto. Koga wakes up and then stabs Muramasa. Illustrated Guide to Soul Reapers. Ishida is upset about Zanpakuto manifestations because it's stupid. He argues about it with Ichigo. Ichigo pretends he's Ishida's bow, and Ishida 180s instantly.
It's real good, actually.
251. The flashback continues and reveals Koga killed the people who framed him. And then Ginrei's like, why'd you do that? I was trying to get you out. And then he goes insane and starts killing anybody he perceives as an enemy. Muramasa tried to get him to stop, but he wasn't able to. Koga was defeated and sealed away by Ginrei and Yamamoto. Muramasa in the present, Muramasa's like, why'd you stab me? And then Koga's like, you're just a tool. He tries to kill Muramasa, and then Byakuya steps in and says, he is no longer worthy of being called a Soul Reaper. Illustrated Guide to Soul Reapers. Byakuya's grandpa explains the hair ornaments the Kuchikis wear. He tells Byakuya to think of where he's going to wear his. Byakuya's like, where do you wear yours, grandpa? And his grandpa flash steps away.
It's really good.
It is.
252.
Oh yeah, Koga, worth noting, he's a mummy in the current timeline.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, he got his fucking nose sliced off, I guess, or some shit. He looks like a mummy now.
They put a fucking nose visor on him when he went to prison.
Yeah, they put the whole mouth guard on him, and then that bottom of that was cut off, and he just left the top of it with the nose part on. I don't know why.
He decided that was his new look, but in the current timeline, he's like really dehydrated.
Yes.
252. Sinbon Zaku's like, Byakuya defeated me and made me loyal again literally the second week I ran up on him.
Just frame one. Immaculate. Just whipped his ass.
Byakuya wanted to unseal Koga so he could kill him because my honor, even though they show in the flashback that Ginrei never said shit about killing him, he's just like, if somehow he gets unsealed, you have to kill him. And Byakuya, being autistic, took this as, I have no choice but to go out of my way to ensure he is unsealed so I can kill him.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
Makes a lot of sense.
Muramasa's like, please, Koga, use my power, and then Koga breaks him. And then uses this big spear and to fight Byakuya. And guess what? One of these guys was like, I might be a third seat soon. And the other one is one of the strongest captains.
It's so bad. Oh my, like my brother in Christ. When Byakuya Kuchiki starts lecturing you about how you've forgotten the power of friendship, kill yourself.
Yeah, that's really how it goes. Like in Byakuya of... Like, this is another one things. Oh, the power scaling's right, because Byakuya has, like, no trouble.
Yeah, this is honestly some of my favorite stuff from the arc, because it's just like, yeah, we need this guy who just sucks to show up and be beaten.
Like, he uses, like, I'm going to warp your senses, Byakuya, and Byakuya's like, okay, that makes this 10-0 matchup an 8-2 until I figure it out, and then it goes back to being a 10-0. And so Byakuya does the thing where he compresses all the pedals into, like, a super blade and just annihilates him. Illustrated Guide to Soul Reapers. Ishida goes to talk to Chad about how he can hear his bow now, and Chad will probably hear his arms because he's still tricked by Ichigo. 253. Koga's dead. Muramasa is unstable because he absorbed a bunch of hollows to sustain himself without a master. He transforms into like a shitty-looking Arrancar type thing. Orihime tries to talk to him because she's like, I must save the gloomy boy from social isolation, but it doesn't work. It never works. The only time it even sort of worked was Ichigo, who wasn't even really gloomy. He just had a dipshit for a father. Ichigo slashes him, and then he becomes a big fucking flesh ball and engulfs Ichigo. And then a bunch of hollows show up. They're like, what are we gonna do? And then the Zanpakuto and their owners show up in this really cheap, horrible looking fucking cheap shot that is the second image I put in there.
It's so bad. They all just show up like, we're alive. Somehow.
I think the one I hate the most is like, why is Omaida here? Bro thinks he's on the team. Like Shuhei isn't there, but Omaida is. And I get I get that. I really do. I understand that Momo is like taking a very basic ready stance, but she looks like she's doing that Bochi the Rock meme where they got obsessed with how the one girl stands. So she looks like she's hitting this pose.
Oh my god.
Oh, and Ishida casts fucking Day of Judgment again during this episode. He's like, there's a bunch of hollows.
Is this like your whole job? Why do you guys have an army for this?
Yeah.
God, they keep acting like this giant wave of halls that shows up would be any trouble for even one of them. It's like we need this whole team. It's like, dude.
Like Ichigo one episode ago swung his sword briefly and killed 4 at once.
Right?
What are we doing here?
The obsession these filler arcs have with not just focusing on like Ishida and Chad is really embarrassing. Like that annoys me the most of maybe anything. It's like, no, why do you have to focus on all these shitty lieutenants who are all terrible?
Yeah, I don't know. That's the problem with Bleach as a whole.
Yeah.
I'd rather watch the worst shit with Chad and Ishida than the best shit with fucking Izuru and Shuhei.
Right?
Arnkar Encyclopedia. Tosin and Gin talk about how there's been a decrease in Minos. I guess because of this fucking Muramasa shit, so somebody must be poaching them. Tosin explains how he's obsessed with raising them. And it's like, I keep their nutrition in check and make sure their environments are properly kept.
I really like it. Because the end of this, what was it? Doesn't he just go, who do you sell them to when you're done?
254. There is this fucking weird song in the opening scene of this. Like, it sounds so strange and unlike any other Bleach song.
Is it the Advance Wars song or a different one?
Yeah, is it the AC/DC's core Advance Wars song? Because I was cracking up at that. Yeah, there you go.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's real weird.
It is so strange.
So they're like, oh, Mayuri fixed everything. Okay. Thank you.
Thank you, Mayuri.
They all fight hollows and then Ichigo is inside the dome. Okay.
We can't mess with the dome because the dome will blow up all of Karakura Town, somebody said, and we're all just going to believe that.
And we're somewhere near that, we swear.
Illustrated Guide to Soul Reapers. Shuhei is sleeping and Kazushini wakes him up and gives a good speech about how he's better now and is a good boy. Shuhei is moved and tries to hug him, and Kazushini just stabs him because it was all a trick. Okay.
It's pretty funny.
255. The dome grows. Everybody fights hollows outside. Ichigo fights Muramasa, who is becoming a hollow. There's some shit where he's like, the move that makes me able to make you not move is fucking the shadow stitch jutsu from Naruto, where he's like, I make shadow threads go across the ground, and if they touch you, then you can't move anymore. And Ichigo's like, I'll just blow up the ground, or in this case, water. And then he kills him. Okay, good. It's over. Illustrated Guide to Soul Reapers. Nell and Ulquiorra are like, it's not over. There's another filler arc.
I was honestly so glad they got to actually have an end to this. Like, even if they go reneged on a little bit, we actually wrapped things up here. I was terrified Koga was going to pull himself back out of the water, and we're going to somehow be sucked into another 10 episodes of let's be serious filler.
Koga's like, I'm going to go to my mansion now.
Right? So it's not as bad as it could have been.
256. Byakuya is holding a flower viewing party in his mansion. Two weird attackers show up. They both look like shit.
Yes.
One of them is defeated by Sodena Shirayuki and Senbon Sakura. The other one exists. Mayuri's like, okay, so when a Zanpakuto kills their master, the Zanpakuto that materialized kills their master, they go insane and become a monster called a sword beast. They have Bankai level powers, which not a single one of these fucking shitty jobber characters displays.
Yeah,
Right,
no, they kind of
They're Bankai for some reason.
yeah, like in this first episode of it, like, oh, they're gonna actually try and make this a real arc about that. Oh no, they aren't. Never mind.
Also, at the end of the last arc, they all went like, oh yeah, and now we're all just going to be swords again because Muramasa's dead.
Yeah, it rained. It was poetic.
Psych.
They all disappeared, and then
Psych.
this
We needed
episode
10
didn't
more
give one
episodes.
shit. Yeah.
Yeah, then they show up and like, what? We didn't say we were going away. Why do you think we were?
Just because a guy goes, doesn't mean they're dead.
Right?
Yeah, the structure of this last 10 episodes is something I couldn't have guessed at.
No.
It literally is like Excel Saga. Here's a bunch of shit, and then at the end, we're going to pretend it was about something.
I was theory crafting what this would be so many times. Like, is it going to go into yet another dimensional bubble and be like, this happened before Muramasa was defeated?
Oh my god.
That'd be insane.
Right?
Rukia and Soda and Shirayuki find the shitty looking satyr thing and defeat him. They tried to like lure him out by having a drinking party. It was stupid.
It was great.
It was like fucking hilarious. They're like, we need to find a plan to lure him out. Well, how did he come out last time? During a party. Okay, we have to throw a party. And I clipped that one sound clip of them going, we believe that they are drawn out by throwing a party. I'm like, what the fuck am I watching?
Arrancar Encyclopedia. Gin explains Sword Beast. Ichigo's like, why are you doing this? He's like, I showed up to work because I got the wrong info. And they show like a chart of how information is passed down. Like he's somehow at the bottom. Like even Yami is above him, which seems bizarre.
I love these ending bits. They are so self-aware of the nightmare that is this filler arc.
Right?
Okay, Ichigo's running around. He finds a Sword Beast and fights it. Hits a guy. It comes to help. Ukitake and Kyoraku just say there's a bunch of them. They don't give a number. They just say there's a bunch. There's many. There's several. There's a lot. There's as many as we need filler episodes. They're like, Mayuri is totally uninterested in solving this problem, so we have to. The Sword Beast attacks the Hollow, but fuses with the Hollow. The Hollow Sword Beast beats up Hinako because she's a woman in a shonen anime. Ichigo defeats him, but then he tries to shoot a Sero that's real big, and then hits a guy who shows up and kills him, and is like, these things are dangerous.
This was in the human world, right?
Yeah, this is all in the human world.
Okay. I was like, that's this episode, isn't it?
Yep. Illustrated Guide to Soul Reapers. Sinbanzakura is being stalked by Hinako and Tobiyume. They want to see under his mask. They follow him into a men's bath to see what's under the mask, but he wears the mask in the bath. 258. Renji and Zabimaru come to the real world following a sword beast. Monkey and Snake, the two halves, split up to search. The guy's like a boomerang sword beast that looks like shit and is one of the worst designs ever in Bleach, except for some things that appear later in this arc.
Yeah.
He convinces Snake that Snake should be independent, and then Snake runs off and nobody can see him, so he's having trouble doing anything, but he meets Karin, and Karin like immediately tries to adopt him because Karin has the exact same fucking problem as Orihime, except she's a tsundere tomboy instead of an airhead. But it's the exact same mental illness. Renji is like, notices Snake, notices Monkey is lonely without Snake around. Ichigo goes home and finds Snake there, and then Snake runs away and runs into the boomerang sword beast again. They fight. The sword beast captures Karin and is able to start defeating Snake. Renji and Monkey come and help Snake defeat the boomerang fucking asshole. Ichigo takes Karin home and convinces her it's all a dream, except even she doesn't buy that. She's like, you fucking asshole, I know all of this. And with the character arc over, Renji goes back to Soul Society.
Yeah, that was so funny. I was like, wait, there's still other sword beasts. What do you mean he's leaving? And I think
I fucking, every time a Bleach character has a battle, they have a forced emotional epiphany and then have to return home like a broken AI. Go to line 1. Oh, that's in Soul Society, one moment.
Illustrated Guide to Soul Reapers. Renji and his sword do everything together in the same way. Renji is trying to ditch them because he needs to use the bathroom, and they won't even leave him alone then. 259. Ikaku, Hanataro, Nanao, and Hozuki Maru are sent to investigate some thefts that happened, and they were in the sewers. Every time Hanataro shows up, he has to go to the fucking sewer.
Yeah, he's the master of the sewer.
Also, like them being briefed involves the return of the Oregon OLED.
Yes. It's a very important character.
They're attacked by a big monster and find a weird-looking white robot that stole everything. The monster is a tentacle sword beast. The robot heals Ikaku and then uses the robot is fucking Hanataro's Zanpakuto. So it healed Ikaku and then shot the injury back at the tentacle sword beast and destroyed it. It's revealed that it didn't rebel because it didn't have any problem with Hanataro.
Which is not how that worked.
Right? Whatever.
I presume the idea was that Muramasa enhanced the resentments that the Zanpakuto already had, but Hisago Maru had no such resentments. Illustrated Guide Soul Reapers. Ichigo goes home and Yuzu says, Ichigo, I'm scared. There's sounds coming from your room. And Ichigo runs up there, and it's literally every single Shinigami having a meeting there, and it's crowded. Laugh.
No.
260. Ikaku, Iba, Kira, and Hisagi go on a mission to fight sword beasts in the Rukongai district. Kazushini is a dick. Then Kazushini finds a child, and he takes care of the child for the entire episode.
It's like Baby's Day Out, but the person looking after the kid's like a mass murderer.
He protects the child and then fights Shuhagen and loses and turns back into a sword. The end. Illustrated Guide to Soul Reapers. Kazushini gives Izuru a gift for causing him a problem. Izuru tries to reject, but he insists. He then moves on to giving Ichigo one, who is in Soul Society now for some reason. I feel like at some point people be like, motherfucker, you're not dead. Leave.
Fucking make me. What are you going to do? Call like the 3 guys who can?
There actually was a part in was it the Bount arc? I think it was the Bount arc where Byaku's like, "Hey motherfucker, guess what? You're not dead. Leave." 261. Ichigo, Rukia, and Urahara investigate a sword beast attacking students. There's a girl who has psychic powers that's in this episode only.
Yeah, it's
She
great.
has issues with her friends. The sword beast merges with her because these motherfucking things can do anything, and then tries to kill the girl's other friend who rejected her. Orihime saves her, and then Ichigo defeats the sword beast. Afterwards, Orihime and the psychic girl become friends, and then the psychic girl disappears from reality forever because she's not real.
I like that these episodes, like all 10 of these Beast Sword episodes, are just, hey, what kind of weird stuff could Zanpakutos do? Like, what if a human grabbed one? What if a hollow grabbed one? What if all of these? It's like, yeah, let's just do that. Sure, that's fine. None of them are particularly well thought out or good, but at least you're trying things.
At least you're trying things. You're saying that like Bleach is some shut-in child of yours. It's like, yeah, you really fucked up this time, but at least you got out.
It spent like 20 episodes trying literally nothing.
It's so true.
Illustrated Guide to Soul Reapers. Sasuke Yamamoto's lieutenant is drinking at an Odin stall with Renji, Shuhei, and Kira. He bemoans that he's forgettable. Okay. 262. Hinako is on a mission with Rangiku to fight sword beasts. She meets a handsome sword beast and becomes friends with him, and then he goes crazy and she has to kill him.
The best part of this is when he's really young and she keeps freaking out because she likes thicker guys that are older. She's like, no, why am I falling for this?
Why am I falling for a twink?
It was pretty good. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed the weird one-off nature of all of the last 10 episodes.
Right.
Like, none of them really lead into each other at all. They just went, Phil! As they write one-off episodes, like, fuck it, the fucking... The furry falls in love with the twink, and then it's just the whole episode's that's the only idea.
That's my favorite part of this episode was like, okay, Zanpakutos seem to have a sex drive. It's possible. Oh my god, Shunsui is fucking his sword. That is happening. There is no way it's not.
They do kind of imply that's how it's going, yeah. Illustrated Guide to Soul Reapers. Sasuke and Renji ask Ishida for help with him making him noticeable, and Ishida dresses him up in glowing 19th century English nobleman clothes.
So good.
263. Senbon Sakura and Zabimaru deliver a sword beast to the research division and get caught in the intruder system.
Oh, this might be the best episode.
And like
in
end
the
up
show.
stuck under glass. Mayuri's stupid fucking baby passes by and is unable to do anything, or refuses to do anything, and Senbon Sakura gets mad and blows up the glass case, which sets off another lockdown. They run from the lockdown and end up in a control room that shows that Mayuri's just a creeper and controls every single thing in Soul Society. Like, he controls the treadmills in the gym, which he also has cameras on. He has cameras like fucking everywhere. He controls all this shit.
He's got cameras in the men's bathroom.
Yeah, he sure does. Ashisogi Jizo shows up and is mad because they're causing all kinds of problems. Senbon Sakura and Zabimaru each use their Bankai to fight back and destroy the control room as well as the rest of the building. All the Soul Reapers show up. Renji's disappointed in his sword. Kyoraku and Ukitake have this moment where it's like, well, Mayuri's a creep, but he lost all his data and research shit, so I guess that we'll call it even. And that is the first image, Mayuri's fucking reaction to all the shit being blown up.
Yes.
Real good.
There's also a part where Renji wants Zabimaru to write an apology letter. Illustrated Guide to Soul Reapers. Sasakibe is British Tuxedo Mask and defeats a sword beast. Ishida is happy it went so well, and she goes like, they still don't know who he is.
Go get him, Lord British.
Yeah, no one needs to know your old life. You're now Lord British.
Right? Ichigo's just a hater.
Kyoraku, episode 264, Kyoraku has Nanao go with the ninja girl part of his Zanpakuto to find a sword beast, while he stays and has sex with the hot older woman part. Nanao like bonds with her. They have like there's wacky antics while they try to bond. Nanao realizes that she likes cherry blossoms and puts one in her hair in a very gay way. The sword beast shows up, and Nanao's like, "Oh no, I set my sword down." And then the other girl, and then the ninja girl part is also defeated. This doesn't end with either of them helping each other. Kyoraku just shows up and kills it. and then they have a party, and the ninja girl has like a little Yuri moment with Nanao again. Arrancar Encyclopedia. Gin explains how the Espada are killing time during the filler. Stark is sleeping. Baragon is playing chess with Tosin. He tries to show Holabelle, but she replaces the footage with Gin showering. It's like, if you ever try to watch me again, I'll kill you.
It's good shit.
Yeah, it is.
265. Kazushini fights a sword beast that looks like shit. The sword beast turns back into a sword before it can be defeated. Kazushini, Zabimaru, there's some unknown sword beast that is absorbing the spiritual energies of the other sword beasts, making them turn back. We see we see this happening, and they all look like shit. There's one that's like a horrible looking face.
Oh yeah, the one that's like, that doesn't even look like he'd be one of these. What is that?
It's like a face on a torso.
Yeah. I mean, like some of these things, like if this turned out to be the manifestation of my soul as a sword, I'd kill myself too.
Yeah, like it's rough. None of these are any good. Like they're all dog shit.
Yeah, even the main one in this episode is terrible.
This
Horrible.
like first edition mono red goblin fucker.
Yeah.
This is the absolute worst design in the Bleach anime. There's no way there's a single one that's gonna look worse than this.
No chance.
We got one more filler arc, man. I'm scared.
It's like the most dripless, sauceless version of Psycho Ginny from Devilman. You know, the demon in Devilman that's just a head with arms and legs.
Looks more like Odin, like Oden. Like he looks like a snack food.
Oh.
He is tofu based.
He does, yeah. But like the eyes and the mouth are very similar to Psycho Ginny's. Okay, all the Zanpakuto decide to fight the sword beast without their owners. They can't win, I guess.
Because they're getting weaker or something.
And it also turns into mist.
Okay. Their owners arrive and they have to fight as one, and they give all their energy. They do the spirit bomb on fucking Renji? That is a wrong choice.
Also, he stops turning into mist for some reason.
I'm just gonna say that if somebody says we all have to give our power to one guy so he can take the shot, I'm gonna be like, not Renji. Not fucking Renji.
I don't know. I believe.
You think he's got it this one time?
I think this is a capable man who's always out of his power scale.
This is his power.
Right. He's
A
in his
shitty
element.
filler character.
Yep.
Yeah. Like I said, if you just sent Renji on like regular missions with the fellas, he'd be a star. But he keeps going on like captain level runs.
Oh my god. The only good performances Renji has are against total jobbers or against filler characters.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
He's the first normal character to kill a Bount.
Oh my god.
Ganju kills a Bount, which is pretty fucking embarrassing on their part.
It is.
Man, where was Ganju? He's way better than most of these Soul Reapers.
yeah,
No.
He hasn't appeared in too long, so they forgot he existed, so he can't show up and be funny.
Mm-hmm.
But Renji takes the shot and defeats them, and all the Zanpakuto used up their energy and are stuck in their sword forms now, which I don't really think you needed to do considering this isn't real and never was.
God, this episode sucked.
It was easily the worst of the Sword Beast arc. Yeah, it was real bad.
Yeah. Illustrated Guide to Soul Reapers. The filler is over. Nell scolds Ichigo for not being nice enough to Ulquiorra before they start fighting again. That's over.
Oh, thank God. Oh. Well, now we can go on to our segments. We get to rate these intros and outros. We actually had 2 openings and 3 endings through all of this. Can you believe it?
Oh, God.
All right. We're going to start with the openings. The first one started in the set before this. We ended it out here. Opening 10, Shoujo S, or Girl S, by Scandal. This is the one that features Rukia and Orihime dancing in school uniforms. Ichigo runs down like a really hyper-colorified road.
It also includes this unbelievably funny image of Izuru power stancing. Blocks your path.
Oh, that is by far not the funniest single frame from that OP. This Mahiri dick pic takes the cake for me.
God, yeah, that was in there. Jesus.
It was.
All right. Dr. Aggro, 1 to 10 scale. How'd you like it?
Man, this one was tough. I've been thinking about it for multiple months of Bleach.
Mm-hmm.
Because there's so much good in here, and there's so much weird and inappropriate in here. We see Mahiri dick pic. Some characters get really cool power stance shots. Some characters look strewn over rubble in an oddly provocative way. The weird rotoscoped Rukia Orihime dancing while Rangiku walks in the background sometimes. It's off-putting. The song's good. It's bright and colorful. Some of the animation looks weird. All of these shots are cool. Everything in this is either really cool or just bad. I'm gonna have to even it out to like a 5.
That's fair. I'll go ahead and go. Yeah, this one I started out not liking. Then I started liking it more and more the more I watched it. It's not good though. There are, like Aggro was saying, a lot of just weird shots that don't look good and a lot of things that are very strange. But I'm gonna have to give it a 7. Like it's on the higher end for me for Bleach OPs, and it stuck with me. Like when we got to this one, I remembered it vividly. Because you don't do a weird dance like this that's rotoscoped and not make an impression.
Mm-hmm.
Chris Wolfhart, what do you think?
I like this opening. I like the song and the dancing. It has some there's a lot of stills, but it has some like Kubo drawing characters in weird poses and clothes energy to it.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't skip it at any point in watching this, which is a lot because it's like 20 episodes in this.
Right.
So I saw it many times. So I'm going to give this an 8.
Dan Video Games?
There are sorry, I'm Anime Danime. I'm taking over for Dan Video Games.
Right.
But yeah, I actually rather like this one. It's very bizarre. I would like to describe it overall as a very powerful package. You know, you're sitting there talking about like the rotoscope dancing, and it's exactly that, and some interesting shots that make it have a lingering effect, combined with a rather good opening song.
Yeah, this song is memorable.
I think
strong.
this is very much on the stronger end of Bleach openings. I'm gonna give it a solid 7 too.
All right. Now we move on to opening 11, Anima Rosa by Porno Graffiti. This is the one that's all about the Zanpakuto arc and has a bunch of those designs and them just doing stuff around Seirete. Chris Wolfhart, do you want to lead off on this one?
Yeah, this sucks. It's not right. It's like it's tonally it's terrible and isn't fun. It's like this boo. I started skipping this one. 5.
Anime Danime.
Well, okay, so I'm torn on this one.
Okay.
Here's why. I like the variety and strength of the designs of these creatures.
Right.
And this is an intro all about them. You get to marvel in them. There are a couple of interesting shots. There's a tint, if I'm remembering correctly, that gives it it's so real. Here's a green tint.
Yes.
These are all interesting elements. But the song and the thing itself does not leave an impact like the prior one, and it doesn't look especially great. It's more just interesting. But it's not terrible. I'm giving it a 6.
I'll go ahead. Yeah, this one, I like some Porno Graffiti's music. I was surprised how much I disliked this song. Like, the song's not great, and I don't think I liked any of the visual stuff they did in this one. I also would rate it pretty low. I'll give it like a 4.
Yeah, I gotta be honest. It really is just that green tint is a very specific green tint that is hard to pull off.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Dr. Egro?
So I liked this one quite a lot, actually. I really enjoyed the song. I liked the visuals. It really fit for a filler arc. You had like the rapid fire character animations. You had some of those. These are fights that could be in this arc, but won't be. That make a good OP. I think it does a good job of telling the story of this self-contained arc. There are a few really nice shots in it. I'd give this one like a 7.
Wow, would you look at that? 4, 5, 6, and 7.
Man, we got quite the spread. Now we got to move on to the EDs.
All 3 of them.
Yes, I'm so excited. ED 20 Mad Surfer by Kenichi Asai. This is the one that's all the new designs for the Zanpakuto with highly colorized backgrounds and characters. It's really interesting looking. I'll go ahead and start it off. I like this a lot. I'm giving it like a 8 or... Yeah, I'll stick with an 8. I think the song's a lot of fun. I don't even like these designs that much, but I think that the way they pulled this off was just great. Dr. Egro?
Yeah, the song's great. It's a nice ED song. It's got a good vibe. The visuals are bright. They're distinct. It's nice looking. It's simple as an ED should be, but, constantly moving. It's a great come down after an episode. This is like a 9.
Chris Wolfhart?
Yeah, I really like the 70s rock song vibe this CD has, and it has very nice visuals. I think it's very funny that they start with what is the most popular 2 of these designs.
What? People like the furry girl?
What?
I'm going to also give this a 9.
Anime Danime.
I agree with a lot of what you're saying. It just didn't stick with me as powerfully. But as far as endings go, from what we watched this set, I'm going to say it's quite good. I'm going to give it a 7.
Yeah, I can't... It seems unnaturally good for a filler arc, honestly. All right, ED 21, Sakurabito, or Cherry Blossoms, by Sunset Swish. God, that's really their name. Okay.
Yeah, you read it correctly. You got it.
This is the one where Ruki is sad sitting under a cherry blossom tree. Dr. Egro, you can start us off.
I don't know if this is entirely fair to this ED, because I can't point out things about it that aren't of a high enough quality, but the whole thing just comes together as this fiercely generic package that it just slides like off the inside of my skull and down. It's like a 6. It's a nice song. There's some decent visuals. Where'd it go?
Chris Wolfhart?
I don't know. This feels mopey, and I don't like the song at all. 4.
Anime Danime?
If you gave an entire city's year's worth of power to an AI super center with the most cutting edge algorithm to make a Bleach ending, it would probably look really close to this. I hate it. 3 out of 10. We've discussed in the past that they're like, oh, this is a sad ending that features Rukia. This feels like it could be from another anime. This is so bad. It's like, no, that's a fake ED in an anime of an anime that isn't real. It's so bad.
I'm not as down on it, but it is really bad. The only positive I have is that the song kind of reminds me of an Inuyasha song. It's like a bad version of one of those, though. And that pulls it up to a 4.
That's right. I'm just like, it reminded me of something off the Taco Bell value menu. It was not as good. Holy shit.
And you get to lead us off on this next one, Dan, but I got to introduce it first. ED 22, Tabidatsu Kimie, or Beginning Your Journey by RSP. This is the one that's just literally just cherry blossoms, like CG or I've drawn, I'm not even sure which, with the PNG sliding over it. What do you think, Anime Danime?
2. Just 2. It is terrible. We cannot express the depth of which it is only what Bob described and one shot. That is it. It is horrible. It is the worst. The only way it could get lower is if there was a tone-deaf song going on at the same time that involved, I don't know, somebody's life being like a boat or somebody not knowing who they really are or something.
Look, then it would be memorable.
I hate it. This made me feel like I watched the last one, the prior one, and I was like, this is like an AI made a Bleach ending. This is horrible. Then we got to this, and I'm like, dude, just because your job was outsourced doesn't mean when you get your job back, you get to come in completely shit-faced drunk and spend 10 minutes doing your job and go, that's an ending. Prove me wrong.
Chris Wolfhard, what did you think?
This was just fucking cherry blossoms. The song wasn't terrible, but it was bad. 3.
Dr. Aggro?
Yeah, this is worse than Bob described it, because not only do you have the original cherry blossom animation, which is just turned up to fucking 13. It's way too many fucking cherry blossoms. All the sliding PNGs have a different cherry blossom animation overlay going in a different direction. And I hate this song. This is garbage. I don't know whose Windows Movie Maker student project this was. 1.
Yeah, I'm absolutely on Aggro's side. 1. This is honestly as bad as I could even imagine. I can't remember the song at all. I listened to it basically right before we started recording. And yeah, the visuals are basically not there. You didn't try. You tried nothing. And you put that in.
Well, that gives us an average score of, or a total score of 7 out of 40.
Yeah, that describes it pretty well.
It's so bad.
Ugh. All right, now we get to move on to my favorite section. The Best Dressed Award. Oh my god, there are so many episodes this time.
Mm-hmm.
You got a lot of choices. Anime Danime, you get to lead us off.
Oh, that's so kind of you. Well, I believe it's at the end of Tabidatsu Kimie by RSP that we get a single shot of a puddle through which you can see the reflection of an Ichigo wearing a purple outfit.
Yes!
Delightful! Best dressed, baby!
Incredible.
I almost brought this. I'm like, is that motherfucker walking purple on purple to his outdoor date? This is amazing.
Yeah! Man, it's a real shame the Sword Beast couldn't compete with his outfit.
And what color should I wear to watch all these cherry blossoms? Royal fucking imperial purple?
Yes.
Yeah,
Bad.
boy. Chris Wolfhard, what was your best dressed?
Soda no Shirayuki.
Darn it. Yeah, you're right.
During which scene?
It doesn't ever change.
Yeah, it doesn't ever change.
Because that would be too hard.
Fact.
Dr. Aggro.
Though we have much maligned a lot of them in this podcast, there was one sword beast that stood out among the rest. I don't think they named him. I've been calling him Pervert Hatchet Spider-Man.
Yes! I honestly was like, Keiko's going to voice him, right?
Like this is a person in the midst of a violent sex crime, but like in a Batman comic. Whose fucking Zanpakuto is this? And aren't we glad they're dead?
Right. Yeah. I told Bob, I was like, it's like Spider-Man's shirt got ripped off and he said I can still do it.
Man, I don't want to see this thing Bankai.
Which is... Luckily, he didn't do it because he had the power, we swear. All right, for my pick, I forgot to get a picture. I don't know if I will even be able to find a picture. I have no idea what episode this was.
Okay.
There was a point where they drew Ishida is a robot.
That was my backup. Here you go.
Thank you.
Oh, it was
That
good.
is incredible.
It's incredible.
Yup.
That's better than most My Hero Academia characters.
Holy shit.
I'm bringing this image to the table next time I play a paladin. Like this.
Oh, man.
Christen me so I may begin my journey. Sorry, Chris, go ahead.
No, I might also have to do that.
seriously, just looking at it, it's like he's a boat. He's too much of you. You turned a boat into a mech and also a man.
Yeah, it's delightful. All right, Dan.
What's up?
Now you need to tell us on a scale of 1 to 10 how excited you are to continue watching Bleach. And I will remind you next time we are watching 26 episodes instead of 36.
And they're canon.
Yes.
Yeah, in fact, there's no more filler arcs until the end of the current plot.
So, having been told that what canon stuff we just went through, and I mean told by multiple fucking people, is the worst canon stuff in Bleach, I am trusting in this, and I'm going to say the next set will be good. It will make Chugging Bleach be redeemed, because I cannot tell you how much over the last month and a half of doing this podcast I went, if I had known, no chance. I would not have done that. Past me was right, and just normal past me was wrong as hell to greenlight this. But maybe so many amazing things can happen in these next 2 sets of episodes of full canon that I'm going to be like, you know, it was worth it. I'm going to say 10.
Great. I like the optimism in this, our 4th anniversary of Bleach. Chugging Bleach.
I have to believe it was all for something.
Right. All right, now we get to move on and actually rate these episodes using our patent pending tightness scale 0 to 25, because sometimes things get real dire.
Sometimes they're really dire.
Hopefully this was all these episodes being in here will get to go above 0.
Right, this was like value package, right?
Right? Like if we would just 5 random episodes at a time from this arc,
that I could see a 0.
There would probably be multiple zeros.
Oh yeah, absolutely. When there were so many beast swords like attacking sword beasts or Zanpakutos given human form fighting each other. Beast swords. What's your favorite Transformers series? Mine's Beast
Right, I'm like
Swords.
that. Beast Swords is the season of Bleach they made in Canada. It's CG.
Yeah, I feel like when they're just they're all fighting all these different guys easily 5 episodes that I would have gone 0. I wish I was dead.
Yeah, for sure. All right, I will lead us off for this segment. Man, I genuinely just was incredibly bored for most of this arc up until Koga appeared.
Yeah, this is boring. Like it doesn't even pretend to be a plot the way that the other filler arcs is just like 5 fights.
Yeah, no, it feels like we just get set into that motions of there's going to be a fight and it's just going to keep going. And it doesn't even mean anything, because after a few episodes they're like, if you beat your sword, you get your sword back and it's fine. And then they break the sword with someone else and it's like, well, it's probably still going to be fine. Because it's Irukia's sword. Like, there's everything feels pointless here until Koga shows up, and he sucks so bad that actually worked for me a lot.
That fight's great.
Yeah,
Koga's great.
That was surprisingly well animated. They let like the main fight be between Byakuya and him instead of having to have Ichigo fight the main villain. He fought the Muramasa, but who cares?
Yeah. No, that arc ended when Koga died.
Right? And then I actually enjoyed the heck out of some of those Beast Sword episodes, especially the ones in the human world with like Orihime finding a new friend that has psychic powers. And the one was Zabumaru and Byakuya's sword breaking into the research and development department. That's great because it's just a bunch of Byakuya's sword being just an impatient idiot. And then the captain's in that episode like, yeah, no, Byakuya is actually really impatient and kind of sucks. It's funny that his sword is still that. So yeah, I'm going to give this a 14, because it really gets lifted up by those last 10 episodes and by Koga actually delivering on being a villain I care about. Chris Wolfhart, what did you think?
Yeah, this was elevated by having designs that weren't all hideous, and it did have neat parts, but it was so boring.
Yeah.
For almost all of it. And it did start to pick up when they're like, let's just do random nonsense in the end. But by then, like, all your spirit has been sapped already.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess I can give this a 12.
Anime, Danime.
I find myself in a very complicated situation. You know, this is many episodes with many different angles, tones, qualities, etc., being smashed together. I would like to say, for the record, for the first, let's say, 3 to 6 episodes, somewhere in that range, basically as soon as Ichigo gets done rinsing fucking Muramasa, and then he has to crawl his ass away like, oh, that didn't go right. Oh, God. I actually really enjoyed the opening. I thought there were some cool fight ideas. I thought it was funny to watch Rukia tumble out of the door into the human world like someone dumped her like trash in a bin. There's a lot going on there that I thought was really, really neat. It was very tampered knowing that it was going to go for 30 more episodes or whatever.
Yeah, no, that knowledge does taint this.
And I genuinely really like the last 12 episodes largely. I think giving these one-off episodes to so many different characters for the last 10 is really good. I like the last couple of the main thing. There's maybe like one in there that's not really my thing, specifically the very last one.
Yeah, that was bad, no matter how you look at it.
And so because of averaging this insane amount of shit together, I want to say that overall, I want to remain positive about how I regard this arc. However, you will notice that number added up to only 16 or 17, depending, out of 36.
Yeah.
So I gotta give it like a 12 as well. Like, there's good bits. Damn, is it drowning? There's good comedy. Even the ending bits are funny all the way through.
Right? Yeah, I would never want to rewatch it, like, because of all of that. Like, I'd probably, if I ever watched any of it again, it would be when Koga shows up.
Oh, I thought you meant Bleach, and I'm like, oh yeah, the Bound arc, right? That's the one you would want to watch again.
No. Well, I mean, that's the one I'm going to have to, I'm sure, but it's not the one I want to. Honestly, I'd probably only ever rewatch the very beginning.
Where it's just like, oh no, it's Snake Dick.
Yes.
Snake Dick in that episode we stole from Yu Yu Hakusho. Episodes.
Yeah. Dr. Aggro, how tight was this?
The basic conception for the first part of this arc is the kind of goofy bullshit that I really get down on. I love it so much. Like, hey, let's humanize our power sets and interact with them. That's a fertile seedbed for goofy, wacky shit. And then there's a lot of execution that's not super good that follows that. And a lot of drawn out, a lot of arc-wide just writing mistakes. Like, I'm Muramasa. Okay, you're clearly somebody's Zanpakuto, but whose? I don't know. Are we going to address that? Is that going to be like a reveal? Are we going to tease that out? No, we're just not going to say anything about it for like the next 20 episodes. And then we're going to spring a new villain on you. There's so much shit in this filler arc, both of these filler arcs. But there's so much cool stuff too, and like even though some people are cowards and redesigned or envisioned all of these Zanpakutos as humanoid characters that would be very easy for any animation team to draw with very little uptime.
I thought he was going to say very easy to imagine yourself having sex with. I'm sorry, after your tweet the other day, Aggro, I'm expecting only the worst from you.
That's what I'm saying. Like making Zabimaru into like giant green Makoto that's cowardice. Renji should have fucked that monkey.
It seems to be an obviously lady monkey.
Like the idea of their Zanpakuto personifying is cool as shit, and then you get to the back half of the arc where like the Zanpakuto, instead of using their powers, are just manifesting themselves as swords, and also the Soul Reapers have them too. Are they twice as powerful now? Are they each half as powerful? It doesn't make any fucking sense.
Yeah. It that bugged me a lot when it's like we don't even know what to have these Soul Reapers do. Just have them use Shikai anyway. It's like, right. What? Come on.
But I had so much fun. There, like any arc that sucks off Byakuya this hard has got to be fun.
That was pretty fun.
There were some great fights. There was a lot of cool what ifs. At the end of the day, I had to ask myself, like, because I was kind of middling on it with the good and the bad, like, should I be more positive or negative? And I decided, Koga's the X factor. You've got third seat Koga, much, much better than third seat Kabune. 15.
Yeah, especially because he's only in one episode. No, 2. He survives 2.
Yeah. Is all anime filler villains should.
So now that we dealt with that Muramasa guy across 2 whole episodes, what do you guys want to do for the next 34?
Look, if you cannot come up with film of the weeks on the level of Toku shows in the 80s, then you can't be making filler. I'm sorry.
Ain't that the fucking truth?
You got to be able to come up with one of those every 2 episodes.
Fucking Muramasa, the whole time I'm like, you are not a filler villain. You are a movie villain. What are you doing?
Yeah, I told Bob and I'm surprised I haven't mentioned this by now, Bob, because I said this multiple times. Mm-hmm. The opening of this really felt like an adapted movie script.
Yeah, you could see the first bits being like a movie, but then it has to keep going, so he gets away.
Yeah.
Also, the fact that we never manifested Kenpachi Zanpakuto as the final boss is horseshit.
Yeah, they know.
Yeah, they realized that they couldn't do that because what could beat it?
They realized.
Also, what would it be?
Yeah, Kubo, will you tell us what that is if you ever do it, so we can do this early and ruin your reveal? It's like, no. The most they could have done, he's like, yeah, my sword was weird for a second, and then I crushed its skull. And you don't even see that happen. You're just like...
Right? I ran into some weirdo in the woods, and then my sword broke when I killed him.
Yeah, the thing for me is, like, it honestly got me more that we didn't show Jakan or whatever.
Ryujin Jaka?
Yeah. Yeah. That bugged me way more.
That was just weird because it felt like you built the whole arc up to this moment and you don't have him, and then you don't even have Muramasa use him after leaving there. Like, the implication is that he is the Ring of Fire.
Yeah.
And he's just left there.
Yep.
It's so strange.
I really don't like it. That's one of the parts of this whole arc that upset me. And it's sad thing is I don't expect any different from Bleach filler writing.
Yeah. No, there's just a bunch of things like this could have been better if you just were able to get more designs or were set on it long enough to figure out what you were doing, dude.
Hey, remember in the Bound arc where it seemed like it was about a thing, but instead it ended up being a bunch of people like making drugs in their cave and getting high?
I wish you were wrong.
Yeah.
I wish this didn't have that Bound arc moment too.
Oh, God, yeah, the energy
my
field.
My plan was to
trick you into using your power to open this thing for me because I suck that bad.
This filler arc would actually be great if Muramasa's plan was getting Ichigo to shoot him with the strongest thing ever seen, and he just died. Yeah, why'd you think he could deflect that, dude? I don't know what you were thinking. And by the end of the arc, he shouldn't have been able to do that. There's nothing in the world that seems like, yeah, he can do that.
Speaking of things I expect from the Bleach filler writer, when Muramasa shows up and at first he's just like, oh, this is her friend and he will do anything. I will leverage this in the future. And then immediately the next episode, he's like, this is Ichigo Kurosaki. You are in fact a part of my plan the whole time. You are the cornerstone of my plan. This is all done to get you here. And I'm just like, if I had a taser and I was near that writer, I could have seen that shit from space and gone, no, you are not writing that sentence. You are writing any sentence but that one because you don't know what his plan is. I know you don't know, and by the end of this, I'll be lucky if I know. You asshole, stop writing lines like that.
It's also real weird that Muramasa just was like, yeah, I can also suck up hollows. It's like,
yeah, they didn't.
What are Zanpakuto and how do they work? Fuck you.
Yeah, like this feels more drastic than ever before because Zanpakuto have one specific thing they do to hollows. And that is like purifying them and sending them to Soul Society.
Yeah.
It's so strange to be like, no, they're one interaction that does that. Completely different from this guy.
Hey, you remember when they were like, oh, this event is going to draw in all the hollows of nearby in Kurokura Town. That's going to be a problem. And I was like, if that's like happening, what the hell is going on in Karakura? Do you guys not have like your scrubs out here keeping it safe? What the fuck's going on? And then they immediately change it to, or a hole in the sky opens up and then they all fall out literally.
Yeah, it also, that whole section made me be like, they forgot everything. That we're back to the beginning of Bleach where Hueco Mundo is literally just a dimension that spawns these demons. It's not a place they can go to. It's just a bizarre alternate plane that spits these out.
They thought it would be nostalgic.
I guess.
Hey, remember when early Bleach was like a lot of one-off episodes?
Mm-hmm.
You know, like Grand Fisher?
Yeah, that was cool. I missed that.
I missed that too. That's why I like the last 10 episodes of this.
Right?
Except for the last one. Just had a lot of like, or Hime has a schoolmate and they transferred and there's trauma and all that other stuff. It felt neat. It was nice. It was refreshing. Honestly, I wish more canon Bleach was closer to that than what it is.
Yeah, Bleach desperately needs to de-escalate. That's the thing.
They're going to do that, right? I just know that, the final season's is called The 1,000-Year Blood War. That sounds de-escalated.
That's definitely de-escalated. You got that right, Dan.
Great.
But I guess I now need to tell them what we're doing next time. We are watching the first half of The Arrancar Part 6, Fall of the Espada, which is episodes 266 through 291. So study up. We'll be back next month with 26 episodes of fun.
Better be. Hey, before you down that jug of bleach, how about you head on over to patreon.com/gbpodcast. You can get the next episode of Chugging Bleach early and help support us doing insane 7-year-long endeavors like watching all of Bleach. We also do many other shows that you can get extras for, and if you ascend to Vastopod Lourdes, you'll even get credit for it on Big Think Dimension, our weekly gaming podcast. If not, that's fine. We'll see you next time you're thirsty for some Bleach. The executive producers for this GigaBoots video are Esme, Ely Broyles, Spaceman Spiff, Red Blaze 27, Brendan O'Sullivan, A Reminder for Symphony of War, Cooper Tank, Very Best Plot, Iconic Bane, and Rado. Thank you very much to our executive producers. And also these guys. If you want to become an executive producer or normal patron, head on over to patreon.com/GigaBoots today.